I'd like to introduce a brand new kit from quantamagnetics.com called the Quanta Charger. This is an awesome piece of equipment. It's upgradable, expandable. The rail system is another kit which houses this motor. The unit together is called the Quanta converter, and the idea being that the motor drives this through a magnetic coupling. And I'll show you, there's nothing joined. You can see the airspace through it. And because when you have a standard coupling like this, it's just a jaw coupler, has a rubber insert, and they come together, there's a bit of friction between the kinetic energy transfer from this motor to this generator. This totally eliminates it. There's zero friction there. So it's nothing but magnetic flux that turns it. And that close proximity, it's about 1/8 of an inch gap. It can be 1/8 up to 1/4. It depends on the generator configuration. This particular kit generator right now is configured for a low lens operation, meaning that the magnet retainers inside, come around here, you can see one right there, and there they go. Alright, those are meant to house a 3/4 inch thick by 1.5 inch diameter N52 Neo. Very powerful. There's 6 coils and 6 magnets. I know that may sound strange, but this configuration is a single phase operation. These 6 coils, these dual air coil sets, operate simultaneously. This one is in, this set of 6 is in series, and the other set of 6 presently is wired in series also. Comes together in parallel here. This is a mess. Please excuse this mess. I'm just testing this. There's dozens of ways that this motor generator combination, especially the generator Quanta charger, can be configured. It can be with an 8-position magnetic position rotor. This can be set up as a 3-phase generator and reduce it even more, but in a low lens configuration, meaning that instead of the 3/4 inch magnets inside the rotor in those retainers going by right there, there's a 1/8 inch thick by 1.5 inch diameter, and there's plastic spacers on either side that hold it in the very center of the rotor, because those caps come together like a clamshell. I think I showed you that in the parts. If not, you'll see it in another video. So this is one kit here. This is another optional kit here if you want to go with the magnetic coupling. And I think there's a company in Great Britain that I believe they manufacture these, and they said that you gain up to 15% better efficiency through magnetic coupling with zero friction than you do with a standard coupler like this. But when you're running this Quanta charger with the large magnets, whether it's in a 3-phase operation or you can wire each of these coil sets in parallel, and you can have 6 different chargers and just get another heat sink like this that has the 2 big bridge rectifiers on it. Get another one and another one, 2 more, so you'll have 6 bridge rectifiers, 1 for each of these charger units, and charge different things at a at a variable rate or whatever. Or you can connect them all and just increase your amperage and lower your voltage down, because in a series connection like this and then paralleling, you still have really high voltage even with the super low lens operation. And the idea behind the low lens is to not put an excessive load on this monster Baldor motor. This is a 7.5 horsepower motor. It's designed to run on the faceplate. It says here 230 volts or 460 volts. Now, it isn't a standard motor. This has gone through a conversion process, which is not an invention of mine. It's an invention of Hector Torres, a brilliant, brilliant guy who figured out a way how to take this monster three-phase motor, which normally consumes 4,370 watts constantly as it's running, and I've had this thing running on as low as 48 watts, almost 100th of what it's designed to run on. Now I put this switch in here, and I've got a start cap, and I've got two capacitors in a circuit that's all inside this box. If you're just going to use this as a prime mover, then it only requires one cap and maybe 25 microfarad. But even though this is an off-the-shelf motor from Baldor, I mean, it comes in right away at right on the faceplate, 91.7% efficiency, which is really, really high. I'll show that up in close-ups in the other video that explains this motor a little bit more, and the conversion process, what you have to do this, because you turn this thing into just a super, super efficient prime mover, or it's a motor generator. In this particular case, I've changed the circuit and brought in the second oil filled capacitor, and what happens is you wire this up according to the high voltage, which is for 460 volt operation, but you bring in standard line voltage, 110, 120 volts, and this motor comes from the factory of Baldor as inverter ready. So this is just absolutely perfect, because when you use an inverter and a variac, the inverter is powered by batteries. It runs. Loudest thing on this whole system is just the fan from this stupid inverter. I could probably take it out because nothing ever gets hot. This monster motor that's designed to run on 4.3 kilowatts never heats up. The conversion process, I'll explain to you how that's done. It's really, really amazing. You're just going to be blown away. A lot of people have done these replications of this, but not many are using it as both a prime mover and a generator. These two wires coming out here are what's coming off the third phase, acting as a rotary transformer inside here. And with the third capacitor inside, there are two run caps and a start cap. The start cap is only used to start this thing up because there's no permanent magnets inside this monster motor here, so it has to generate its own magnetic field to get started. So it uses a start cap, and this switch lights up, and this thing comes up into resonance. And when it hits resonance, it gets super quiet. Well, this thing first gets really bright and starts to hum, and so you just turn the switch to here, the light goes off, and the whole thing is almost silent running. It's just the most amazing thing. And with the friction-free magnetic coupling and a low lens configuration on the Quanta charger, the whole thing is just super, super quiet. That's why I say the fan right here of the right there of the inverter is the loudest thing on this whole system. But keeping this in a low lens configuration isn't going to give you very much output, but it certainly will give you more output than is needed to run this system, and I'll be showing you that in tests that is quite remarkable. But so there you have it. This is the introduction. I'm going to show you how it works. It's a beautifully engineered piece of equipment that's like I said, it's totally upgradable, expandable, so you're not locked into one thing when you build this kit. Like I said, you can wire the coils in any configuration that you want for whatever your purpose is, whether it's to charge batteries or maybe you run an inverter direct or whatever it is that you want to do. In this case, I wanted to run it so that it wasn't pulling any more watts, or even just a couple of watts off this big monster machine. So it's just like this is freewheeling and still generating additional power while it's generating its own power from the three-phase tap-in on the rotary transformer of the third phase of this, which is it's just an incredible thing. And Hector Torres is he's just amazing, man, and he puts so much R&D into this. I mean, he deserves so much credit, and I'm sure that Baldor just loves him too, because it helps to sell these. Some people have done this. This is one of their gold line of Baldor's premium Super E motors. You know, are the highest efficiency I think out there on the market. So you can't go wrong with this. And because this is inverter ready from the factory, this is just so perfect, because you can run this motor. Here it's plugged into the Variac. You can run it off the mains. You know, your power company's supply, but you will get a higher efficiency if you run it from batteries to the inverter with the Variac plugged into the inverter, and then the rotoverter. This is called a rotoverter with the conversion on this giant Baldor motor. Then it's plugged into the Variac, and then you can adjust your output here on the Variac, and it just makes the whole system a lot more efficient. And it's hard to believe that until you see it actually for yourself. And it's just an amazing thing. It's so well engineered, and this thing is so fun to put together. I mean, it was just a joy to construct, because it's so simple. And you'll see. And then look at this. All is so beautiful. The Quanta converter kit that mounts the big giant rotoverter onto these T-rails, where it slides and locks down, and you can set this. I mean, look how accurate that is. I just put a piece of 1/8 inch material in here, brought those together, torqued down everything onto the rails, and then slid the piece out, and there was my perfect little air gap between the couplers, the magnetic couplers there. I mean, look how well that thing spins. It's just really, really, really nice. This system works. You're going to be absolutely amazed. And like I said, it's available now at quantamagnetics.com.